Good morning, everybody. I'll let everybody get logged in. This takes a second for Facebook to connect so we can get started. It's a nice day here in sunny Southern California, as it normally is, which is great. That's why we love it here. If you haven't been here, check out San Diego. My gosh, it's so nice. We have an interesting subject today. It's going to be a subject that I've talked about for years, but I think it's something that everybody needs to realize, and it is the 3 big lies about success. So good morning, Jessica. I see her out there. So it's the 3 big lies about success. We are told these lies over and over again, and unfortunately, they creep their way back in again on a daily, if not minute-by-minute basis. So I wanted to go over these 3 big lies about success so that they don't happen to you. They can really sabotage your success. We don't want that to happen. A couple things. This is Wednesday, of course. On Wednesdays, we talk about things you can do, put into practice. Also on Mondays. On Fridays is Focus Friday. On Fridays, we focus on what we need to do and how to get focused. Those things that we should do on a regular basis, so we make sure we stay on the right track. Today we want to talk about the 3 big lies about success. Also, I don't want to forget to remind you that you can go to jrfisher.com, and there's a free download there too if you want to check it out. It's 8 steps to success in online sales, so you may want to check that out. That's free, so you can download that, go through that guide, and it will get you going as far as what you need to do. Also, you can check us out on Facebook, J.R. Fisher Marketing. You can also go to J.R. Fisher Training, any of those locations, and also on YouTube if you want to check out some videos, you want to learn a little bit more about how to do things online. You can certainly go to YouTube. And hey, Richard, I see him out there in Texas. Good to see you. But anyhow, you can go to my YouTube channel and you can get some good videos on how to grow your business online. You'll also see some of these live videos there. We're posting some of those live videos up there so everybody can get access to those, because if you're not, I guess, a friend of mine on Facebook or somebody doesn't share this, then you won't be able to see these videos. So we want to make sure everybody can see them. So I think it's time to dive in. The 3 big lies about success. Okay, here's the first big lie. Motivation. Hey, if you just get motivated, you'll be successful, right? That's all there is to it. All your success is based on motivation. Well, if that were true, I would think, I guess every happy, motivated individual in the world would be wealthy. Unfortunately, it's not true. There's a lot of motivational seminars out there, and nothing wrong with them. They're great. But there's more to success, because if you just take an idiot and motivate them, as Jim Rohn once said, guess what you've got? Yeah, a motivated idiot. So motivation's great, but that's not going to make you successful. But we will talk about motivation in just a second and how to get more of it, because motivation's great, good thing to have, just not going to get you successful. The next thing I hear is experience. I've got 20 years of experience in this area. I've got 40 years of experience, or I've got whatever your experience level is. Just because you've got a lot of experience does not mean you're successful. It could be a lot of bad experience, a lot of years of doing things wrong and incorrectly, and that is not going to make you successful. So don't get confused in thinking that because you have a lot of time invested in something, that's going to make you successful, because it won't. It doesn't work that way. And then the last thing I hear a lot is survival. Survival is success. I survived. I got in the internet business 6 years ago or whatever it was, and that's true. I did, and I saw a lot of people come and go, and yet I still see some people that are still out there, and they tell me they're successful because they're still out there. That's why they're successful. They survived, and that's not success either. Motivation, experience, survival, all those things are great, but they don't necessarily lead to success. So exactly what is success? Well, these are some cold hard facts, but they're true. The truth is, business success is a few simple things. It's earning more than others. I hate to say it, but The measurement of how well you're doing is judged by dollars. It just is. That's the way it works. So earning more money for your business, and that doesn't necessarily mean for you to just go out and blow it on useless things. You can use it for charity, you can help others, you can do a lot with money, you can employ people, but certainly that's a good guide. If you're making more money than your competitors, then you're probably doing something right. Doing better than your competitors or doing better than others, that's another judgment of success. Having more customers. If I have more customers than the business next to me that's selling the same product, well, I'm successful in that area because I have more customers. Having a bigger brand name. If my brand name's well known, then certainly I've been successful at building a brand. So that's another judgment of success. And of course, growing. If you have a business and it is steadily on the increase and it is steadily growing, that's a good judge of success. So how do you do this? How do you get more of the success? Because we know what it is, we know what it isn't, but how do you get more of it? That's the key. Well, the way you get more of it is simply through education, okay? So education of the right way to do things too, not necessarily the wrong way to do things. And how do you know what's the right thing? You get your education from somebody who knows what they're doing. And how can you tell? Because they're already successful. So I think that's real important. Richard's got something up here. He says, due to an awareness of goals, thinking they were high. Now I'm double what I was doing. Great, Richard. And I knew you would be. Richard's a good friend of mine out there in Texas and visit San Diego often. So you got to get educated. Here's an interesting fact. I just read this morning. The average CEO reads 4 to 5 books a month. Something to think about. What are you doing? How many books have you read on your area of expertise, if you're an expert in that area, in the past month, the past year? Have you read any? Something to think about. Some people say, well, when I get successful, I'm going to start learning. It doesn't work that way. When I get successful, I'll start learning stuff. See, that's kind of backwards. It doesn't really work that way. I've heard people say when they pay me more on my job, I'll work harder. That's how it works. They aren't paying me to do any more. Why should I do more? Because that's how you get more pay. That work you put up front, that education you get up front, those are the things that are going to make you more successful. I see my son's out there. He got his wisdom teeth out today. I don't know how alert he really is, but he's on with us this morning. Good for him. He's over in Virginia. So we got Virginia and we got Texas and we got some California in there. And I know I have a friend from Pakistan that is trying to log in now. So if you go to the gym, right? You go to the gym, the work comes before the muscles. So that pain, that effort you put forth, that's something that's got to be done long before you're actually going to be successful. So being successful is really through education, proper education, and then of course applying that. The truth is, through that proper education, you will become more successful. Now let's talk about that motivation angle, because I think that's important. I think that's really important. What do you do about motivation? Well, let me ask you a question. Let's say you're a salesperson and your closing ratio is 1 out of 5. Or you can apply that to your ads you're running on your online business. You know that 80% of the time you're going to fail. You know that. Well, let me ask you another question. What if you could close 4 out of 5? In other words, 20% of the time you'd fail as opposed to 80% of the time. How do you feel knowing that statistic? You say, well, geez, that's pretty cool. If I'm closing 4 out of 5, I may go try to find another customer right away. And see, therein lies the key to motivation. Success is motivation. The more successful you become, the more motivated you become. And it's interesting, we all watch that little show on TV called Shark Tank, and you say, well, gosh, why do those guys do so much? Why are they so interested in other businesses? They've already made money. Because success is very motivating. I don't need somebody to come along and say, hey, be motivated. If I'm being really successful on a daily basis, I'm knocking it out of the park constantly. And how do you do that? You do it through education and hard work. And if you apply that education and hard work, you'll find that your motivation level goes way up. You're now looking for more opportunities to get involved in instead of avoiding more situations where you may fail in. So that's a really, really important distinction when we look at motivation and success. that motivation will come if you're more successful, and that success is going to come with education and application of good information. I see my friend there from Pakistan just joined us. Welcome today. If you missed any of this, obviously, you can go to the replay. This will be replayed on Facebook. We've determined today what success isn't. And if some of those things ring true in your life, if you've thought to yourself, well, I just need to get motivated, or I just need some experience, or I've survived and I'm successful, then maybe you'll watch this a couple times. Think about how this applies to your situation, because quite honestly, if I can make you more successful, if I can educate you more, then you will be more motivated, because if you're doing a better job and you're making more money, it makes you want to go out there and do more. It's the most motivational thing in the world. Believe me, success is greatly motivation. If you go to the gym and you start seeing results, you start seeing muscles, and you start seeing yourself lose some weight, you know what? That really motivates you to show up the next day. Those things are really, really important. Get that success going first. Motivation will come along. I pretty much promise you that. Also, I mentioned in the beginning, in case you missed it, you can go to jrfisher.com if you want a guide to get started. There's a little pop-up on there. It's free. It's 8 steps to succeed at selling online. All you have to do is put in your email. You don't have to put your name, address, or anything. Just stick an email in there and I'll shoot it over to you, and it'll get you going. And you can use that as a guide to get you selling online, because quite honestly, there's a lot of money to be made selling online. So it doesn't really matter what your industry is. It doesn't matter what you do. Somebody out there wants your knowledge, and you can definitely sell online. And if you go through this video a couple times and you apply some of those principles I told you in the beginning, I think you're going to be a whole lot more successful. So I appreciate you listening. Once again, you can find us on YouTube at J.R. Fisher Training. A lot of free videos there. J.R. Fisher Marketing here. Please like that page. We can notify you about these videos when they come up. J.R. Fisher Training is also a group here on Facebook, and if you go to that, it's a closed group, but we'll get you in there, and there's a lot of good stuff in there. We're going to be putting more downloads and that type of thing. So every Monday, every Wednesday, we're going to go over some of these tips to help you be more successful online, and they're all things that we do, so they're proven tips. They're things that actually work out. And then on Friday, we have Focus Friday, where we can focus a little bit more about getting ourselves organized and things we can do. So I really appreciate you watching today, and all you people out there. We've got, looks like we've got Brooke out there too. Say hello to Brooke. A good friend of mine in Tennessee. So we've got Tennessee, and we've got Virginia, we've got California, we got Texas, we got Pakistan. So it's really cool to see all you guys out there. And it's really cool to see all the people watching these videos afterwards. So anyhow, I appreciate it. You guys have a great day. And remember, success, that's motivation.